Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Inside. I'm your host, Tony Benton Jr., and we're joined by Heather Foster with Foster Financial. Heather, it's always a pleasure to have you here. This is my first time being able to sit down and talk with you, but you're no stranger to Inside, right?
I'm not. I know. We were just talking about how I've been through 7 different hosts on the show, but I'm glad to get to work with you. You seem like you got a lot of energy, so I'm going to bring some energy to the forefront here, and we can kind of go back and forth. So
I love it.
I love finances. I think everybody that watches the show and watches these segments know that I have a complete passion for what I do for a living. So money. Money talk, I love it, and we're going to talk about it, especially about emotional money, right?
And moving it around too quickly, right?
Moving it around and letting emotion get the best of you, because when we go into these cycles, which, by the way, we're in a cycle right now, right? We're typical cycle. You know, corrections and recessions, guys, are normal and natural and healthy part of market cycling. When you let the emotions get involved and you let fear or panic, that's when people really lose. It's when they stop going, okay, I know my long-term trajectory, and instead I'm going to let emotion take hold. And emotion taking hold looks like some of the things that I'm hearing. So I like to talk about things that I hear in my office and people questioning, like, hey, I heard my neighbor's broker put him in cash right now. Or someone at my church's financial advisor said they were going to go to all CDs right now. Should we move to something like that? Here's the thing. When you're already in a crux of a market, the markets typically bottom out before a recession's even announced. So by the time you see recession all over the TV screens, you're already in recovery mode. It normally bottoms out about 85 days or a few months prior. So again, if you see recession, you go, oh no, we're in a recession. We're already in recovery mode in the stock market. We always react and overreact, if you will, ahead of schedule. So typically, again, the markets start going down about 7 months or so prior to an actual recession happening. By the time it's announced, we're already into expansion mode and recovery mode. So if you're one of those people that are letting emotion get the best of you, you have to be strategic, because the moment you sell a stock or a fund that's stock oriented and you go to something like a CD or something like cash, how can you recover that? When the market moves 5% in one day, or 6% in 2 days, or 10% in 1 week, which is what we see now, you'll never get that kind of recovery back in something that's secure or more conservative. So you have to stand the test of time. But that doesn't mean that you can't make strategic moves. You can do things like maybe the financial markets right now, everyone's concerned about the bank failures. Maybe you don't want to be and own bank stocks right now, but instead you want to exchange it for something like materials. Or if we were to go to war, for example, you want to invest into steel and things that are actually going to produce returns during different market cycles. So I'm just here to say that the moment you go out of stocks and into something very conservative, you've locked your losses in and you can't get that recovery. There are better options out there. Things like buffered funds. Buffered funds are a great example of watching the S&P 500, but we actually buffer out the limitation of the losses over a 1-year period. If you think that the markets might go down 15% from March to March, you can buffer out that loss with a buffered fund. You have an upside cap, so you can still expose yourself to the recovery of the markets, but limit your downside, versus just saying, hey, I'm done, I want out, let me put it in something like a CD or an annuity, which, again, I'm not against either one. They're great rates right now. We love to see 5 and 6% on interest rates. But to go from a stock-oriented investment to something like that may not be the wisest move long-term, because that's emotion getting involved. So don't let emotion get involved is really, to me, one of the biggest criteria for people, because they lock in their losses forever. So
following and not allowing those emotions to get the best of you, especially when you're dealing with your money. As quick as we may feel something or be like, oh my gosh, I'm scared that we're worried that might happen. Like you said, things are already changing. That recovery happens so fast.
It happens within days. If you are out of the market during 10 positive days in a 1-year cycle, you will never recover that or make that back again. So it is critical, and this is why sometimes people go, hey, I could manage my own money, I understand the markets, but my emotion always gets the best of me. They hire people like us to talk them off the cliff, to say, hey, listen, we have to stand the test of time here. While we can make strategic moves, moving sectors around, again, maybe moving one stock to another stock, we call those lateral moves. Maybe long-term bonds, again, last year I preached go to short-term bonds, which was a great move to make, or go into something like a CD, but bond and conservative to conservative, stock to stock, but maybe a different sector of the market, or adding those buffered funds in can really help you sustain the long term.
Yeah, and we know that a lot of questions go into this, and if people are saying, look, I'm a little bit confused or I want to learn more, they can always reach out to your office to be able to find out more and get these questions answered.
We are happy to take on clients. We're happy to walk people through this process to help them not let the emotions get the best of them, because there's so much security in knowing what your long-term plan is. Laying your plans out are important.
They're very important, and if you take a look at your screen right now, you can be able to find all the information needed to learn more about Foster Financial Services. There you go, popping up right there. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here with us.
You're welcome. Great to be here as always, Tony.
Most definitely. We'll be right back.